Hey, have you ever wondered how long it takes ice to melt? Hey Rachel, have you ever wondered how long it takes an ice cube to melt?
How would we figure something like that out?
I don't know, maybe an experiment or...
An experiment. What is an experiment, though?
An experiment is a test we do to find an answer to a question. For example, how long does it take an ice cube to melt? Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Yeah, I kind of wondered if a ball would bounce higher if I dropped it from different heights. So this is how experiments work? You just try it out? Okay, so I found some balls here, and I'm going to drop them from different heights and measure them.
Whoa, let me explain how this works. To do an experiment, you have to follow certain steps. Come up with a question you want to answer. Make a list of materials you will need. Think about the steps or procedure you will need to do the experiment. Write down all of your variables. Do the experiment and write down your observations. Next, study your results. And lastly, come up with a conclusion or find an answer for your question.
Wow, you really know a lot about this, don't you?
Thanks, that's my job. Okay, let's go over this. First, what was the question that you wanted answered?
Will a ball bounce higher if I drop it from different heights?
That's good, that's your hypothesis. Now, what materials do you need?
Balls? A ruler?
Great. What are you going to do next?
How about I drop the ball from different heights and measure the bounce and then compare?
You got it. Now, here's where you need to make changes. You have too many variables in your experiment.
But what's the variable?
A variable is anything in the experiment that can change the experiment's results. An independent or manipulated variable is what you change in the experiment. For example, will pieces of ice that are different sizes melt at the same rate? A dependent or responding variable is what you measure in the experiment. This is what will give you your answer. An example of this would be the time, how long it took the ice to melt in our ice cube experiment. Some things do not change in the experiment. These are called controlled or constant variables. The temperature of the room would be the same the whole time we were doing our experiment.
So you're saying I shouldn't use different kinds of balls?
Yeah, you need to use the same ball every time.
Cool, that makes sense.
So let's go back to the experiment and try again. So, what did you learn from this experiment?
The higher I drop the ball from, the higher it bounces.
Congratulations! You answered your hypothesis, which was your question, and you now know how to do an experiment.